Good part of the day, my dear digital friends. Anna Dieter is here, and I haven't been live in social media for almost 2 weeks. Yeah, I guess so. Hi, Amir. Good to see you here. So, we have a very interesting topic to talk about today. Yeah, join now. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I will be waiting for a little bit for more people to join me. And in today's conversation, we will discuss various speech techniques for helping to eliminate, or how you guys like to say, reduce stuttering. Of course, my thing is to eliminate stuttering. Why believe that such thing as a sick speech even exists? It doesn't exist. You are born in exactly the same way as I was born, as all other people on the planet are born. You have exactly the same parts of the body. You have exactly the same brain. Everything in you looks exactly the same. The only difference between me and you, a person who stutters, is that you guys don't live correctly your body. And of course, you have a lot of disinformation on your mind. But other than that, there is nothing wrong with you. You're 100% healthy individual. And this is why I'm so passionate to come live as much as I can, as often as I can, and help you understand that stuttering doesn't exist. Stuttering as a medical condition doesn't exist. So today is Friday, and it is 10:30 in the morning Eastern Time, and I am doing my multi-streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and Instagram. Okay. So if you are people who stutter, if you still have any difficulty with expressing yourself with your tongue, expressing yourself in words, spoken words, you still have any difficulty, you are in the right place. So I'm inviting you to join my today's multi-streaming and understand what speech techniques do for you. We're going to discuss a lot of speech techniques today. My main goal today is to help you understand that each stuttering technique that speech therapists give you, teach you when you are taking the speech therapy course, or any speech technique that you invent, you believe that it's helping you. You act in speaking in the way that you believe you need to do it in this way. And I am here to help you understand that everything else but relying on the natural speech norms, standards, is the form of stuttering. Each and every speech technique is the form of stuttering. This is my main goal, to explain it to you today. Hi, Mahmoud. Hello from greetings from Jordan. Greetings from Florida, United States. Thank you for joining me on LinkedIn, Mahmoud. And let me explain to you that I am here to answer your questions. But before I see any questions, I'm going to begin my presentation. Yeah, I get messages that someone liked my videos on TikTok. So, people on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, I strongly recommend you type your questions as I am speaking, because today I'm really interested to learn what speech techniques you are using when you are communicating with people orally. I'm really interested in that topic. And I want to know why you believe that those speech techniques that you have learned from somewhere, from the other person who stutters, from someone like a speech therapist, a speech pathologist, maybe you are the inventor of that speech technique. I want you to explain to me, just don't hesitate. Write to me and tell me what is it that you believe this speech technique helps you with, and why you believe that you need any to speak. So here we go. Let's begin. And the reason I have made recently 7 videos, one less than 1 minute videos about different speech techniques, because I found on YouTube, I found the video. And this video is called, let me look at it. I think it's called 7 Facebook giving me a reminder to join Start Live. I have already started. Why are you giving me this recommendation? Anyway, I guess I need to wait a little bit. Everything is working really, really slowly. But if you guys tune in when I'm in the middle of my presentation, just don't hesitate. Ask your question, leave your question here, and then just go to the beginning of the live stream and begin watching my presentation. Anyway, here is the presentation that I found online when I entered techniques to reduce stuttering, techniques to deal with stuttering, techniques to improve speaking mistakes, right? Improve your speech. So techniques, techniques, and techniques. And when I entered, I found a very cool video, which is called, I'm going to show it to you right now, right here. Okay. It's called 7 exercises you need to do every day to reduce stuttering. You need to do 7 exercises every day to reduce your stuttering. And that's what I liked, that they talked about when I say they're people who are helping professionally, helping those who stutter. They call themselves speech therapists, speech pathologists, psychologists. They call themselves all kinds of names, but they have been helping people who stutter to reduce their stuttering. Reduce. So basically, they are selling, and even not selling, just offering for free, of course, freely opening. Like in this video, they are doing it. If I go to this page, I'm going to begin playing the video. It's like this. They're talking about October 22nd. It's the day, I believe, for Hi Manish, or Manish. Hi, good to see you. Okay, so this is what they show on YouTube. They talk about Stuttering Awareness Day. It's on October 22nd. Of course, today is January 27th. Okay, but still, I want you to see the beginning of this video. Just watch. People on Instagram, once again, I'm going to recommend you switch to YouTube, because it is on YouTube when you truly can see what I am demonstrating in other social media platforms, on other social media platforms. But right now, I'm going to begin playing it. And for you people who are watching me on Instagram, I'm going to switch my screen and you will see what I see. But here, of course, you don't have any sound. Let me go back to my StreamYard platform, and I hope you can hear. What's the jaw technique? How about the gentle onset? What about the self-advertising and other speech techniques? And they are talking about each speech technique in details. Okay, so I have watched this video and I decided, why don't I address each and every problem that they list people have? Okay, let me go back. Yeah, this is what they say. They say that speech therapists say that people who start to have problems controlling their muscles, they have neuromuscular complications, that people who stutter also have obstructions in their speech organs, and they also tell you, people who stutter, that you have issues with moving your lips and tongue. And yes, some of the problems they indicated, they truly exist. They kind of are reality. Yes, you have issues with difficulties, you have difficulties, issues with moving your lips and tongue, with moving your lungs, with moving your this and that. You have tons of difficulties. And yes, they indicated problems pretty accurately. Problems controlling muscles. Again, what kind of muscles? Tongue muscles. Neuromuscular complications. I'm not sure what they talk about, what they refer to with neuromuscular complications. But the word muscular tells me, of course, if you move your muscle in the wrong direction, of course, you feel that something is wrong with you, that your neurons, your brain is not right, that some wires, connectors in your brain, connections between your muscles and the brain are broken. So, yeah, you begin to believe these lies. Okay. And also, they say that you have obstructions in speech organs. Yes, you do have obstructions in your speech organs. But what do they recommend you do? Let's talk about this, because they recommend you, people who stutter, do every day, you do some strange exercises. Let's talk about these exercises. Okay, let me go back to let me go back to okay, I don't need this. And I'm going to begin talking about the very first technique they offer to people who stutter. Sometimes it doesn't sound in the same way, they use different words, but they do offer people who stutter do all kinds of articulation practice, articulation exercises. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you first watch the first video about what they recommend you do and what I represent the truth, what I recommend you stop doing. So let's begin watching. Don't see too many people me today, but it's
Learn to
okay.
speak with accuracy and ease.
But if you do this,
Second, let's begin from the
Stuttering
beginning.
is very stressful for people who still have not learned to speak with accuracy and ease.
but if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering. It's called jaw technique. Open your mouth as wide as possible. Hold.
So you see that the first recommendation they recommend to people who stutter to exercise their jaws. And now let me address it right away. What do you need your jaws? For. Look, right now I am speaking without moving my jaws at all. Like the only one jaw. We have two jaws, and the only one that we can move is the bottom one, right? So look, I clenched my teeth together and I don't move my jaw. It's not moving, but you can understand each and every word. And guess what? I'm not stuttering. This is just a little, a few words for you to understand. Okay, but let's continue.
This position while moving your tongue to the roof and then to the back of your mouth. Then stick your tongue out of the mouth and hold it for a few seconds. Repeat this exercise 5 times every night, and you will not stutter anymore.
Dear
And believe it or not, a lot of people take it. They don't even argue with this strange technique. They sit at home and they do all kinds of exercises with their jaw. And they do what the video recommended them to do. They do open widely their mouth. And they do stick their tongue out of their mouth. And listen, is it possible to move your tongue for speaking if it is sitting outside of the mouth? No, it's impossible. This is why my recommendation, dear people who stutter, stop believe these lies. It's an evil advice. Listen.
people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. This jaw exercise will block your tongue from moving freely, and you will stutter even more severely. Learn to use your tongue in the natural way to balance your speech and never stutter again. Stuttering is
That's
very
it.
stressful.
That's it. All you need to do, yes, you need to practice your tongue, yeah, train your tongue, but you need to do it in the naturally normal way, in the way how all people on the planet are doing. Okay, you don't need to stick your tongue out and sit like this, because believe it or not, I would say 99.9% of people who stutter lick their lips, and they do stick their tongue outside of the mouth all the time. They can't even speak because of that, because they are speaking, attempting to speak, and they're acting like lizards, constantly stick their tongue outside of their mouth, and they block their tongue, their own tongue. No wonder they cannot speak. So this is one little video I have created, and I actually have uploaded it to many social media platforms, including YouTube. The others I haven't uploaded to YouTube yet. I'm just planning to do that. I will do it. So let's begin with the next recommendation. The next recommendation was, I don't remember
Properly
what
when they
was.
speak, because they don't use
Ah,
correctly their speech instrument.
okay. The next recommendation, again, the evil advice, was about the technique called breathing. Breathing, that you somehow are not breathing correctly when you're attempting to speak. This is also a big fat lie, because when normal people speak, they never think about breathing. Never. They just use their speech instrument correctly, and breathing happens naturally. They don't even worry about whether they are breathing or not. Because once again, when you are, for example, asleep at night, do you ever, I mean, have you ever questioned yourself, who is breathing for me? Who is doing this when I am asleep? Mother Nature is doing it. God has given you a perfect instrument. It's called air pump. This is how I call it, air pump, the lungs. And your lungs are doing the job. You don't need to worry about anything. But if you're not using correctly your speech instrument, yes, you will block your breathing. Your perfect breathing will stop. You will struggle breathing. So listen to my video number 2 about breathing. If you need to do breathing exercises, and what is it that you truly need to do? Let's go.
People who stutter find it difficult to breathe properly when they speak because they don't use correctly their speech instrument.
But if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering.
Do you see the evil? The evil. What I created the image of this devil, the evil. This could be very nice people, very kind people, but they don't know that all the techniques that they teach people who stutter, all the techniques, each and every technique is about evil. They all are teaching the way people stutter. So each and every speech technique is the abnormal way of speaking, and it's a form of stuttering. Okay, this is why I put the image of the evil. So let's continue.
It's called breathing technique. Relax yourself. Inhale deeply. Feel your diaphragm go downwards and your stomach expands. Relax your diaphragm and feel it naturally returning to its original position. Feel the relaxation as all the air eases out of your lungs. Relax for a few seconds and continue doing 10 more reps. Use this technique to relax and stutter less.
Dear people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. Any breathing exercise will block your speech instrument, and you will stutter more severely. Learn to use your speech instrument in the natural way to balance your speech and never stutter again. Many people who stutter find it
Did you
difficult to breathe
hear
properly.
that? Let me turn it off. Did you hear that? Yes. So, whenever you do breathing practice, you simply abstract your speech and you abstract your breathing. You make it difficult for yourself to breathe. You know why? One of my recent students, actually, it wasn't that recent, a few months ago, but one of my students, when he came to me, he said, you know what, the reason I am enrolling in your class is because I'm sick and tired. When I begin to speak, and people think that I have a heart attack. People think that I cannot breathe. My own son, he told me, offered to call 911 emergency because he thought that I was having a heart attack because of the way I was speaking. I was always constantly out of breath. And this is reality because he was focusing on breathing, not on speaking, but on breathing. All you need to do, my dear people who stutter, forget about all these techniques of learning to breathe. Forget about it. All you need is to learn how to move naturally, to use the better word, to use naturally to your speech instrument, how to balance your speaking. Balance your speaking. Yes, coordinate, balance. And in order to achieve your speech balance, guess what you need? You need a balancer, like a balance beam. When you walk, you need Have you seen people walking on the rope somewhere on the very, I don't know, high, high level, the rope? Okay, they are walking with a long, long balancer, with a long balance beam. Have you seen them? They do not fall, they keep their balance because they are carrying this balance beam. It helps them remain balanced. And what is the balance beam in speaking? It's the set of natural speech standards, norms. When you know exactly what you need to do, you just do it. And if you have a split of a tongue, yeah, you made a mistake, you quickly get back your balance beam and continue to walk in balance. In balance. Continue walk with your tongue in balance. Continue balancing your speaking. Do you understand me? But unfortunately, if you Google, you will find a lot of speech techniques that speech therapists, speech pathologists, psychologists, they claim that they are former stutterers, some other stuttering coaches who stutter themselves. They recommend the balance beam that they offer are these crutches, these techniques. So let's look what breathing technique. Oh, we just looked at the breathing technique they offer. And they do it when they talk about these breathing techniques. They talk with such an authority, such a kind word. They use such amazing words that you begin believing them. It's funny how I was, after I uploaded this video on TikTok, I got someone wrote a comment. In the beginning, I believed that evil. Of course, because of the way they present themselves. They wear white robes. They look like professionals. They look like doctors. And of course, we are trained to trust doctors, right? I mean, in today's crazy world, I'm afraid to believe doctors because they are just people. Okay, they share the same misinformation that they have been trained to believe when they were in their medical schools. They share it with us. You gotta check with reality before you accept what recommendations doctors may give you. If you stutter and you come to any medical professional, you got to check with reality. This is my job. I invite you to check with reality. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go to the
They
next.
still haven't adjusted their tongue for accurate production of all the words and still struggle to say certain sounds. They often replace such difficult words with the ones that are easy for them to say.
But if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering. It's called
Loud vowel pronunciation. So a lot, I mean, almost all speech therapists recommend, of course, if they don't recommend accept your stuttering and stutter for life, which I'm not even talking in this video about, because I still believe that people who will be watching this video and recording, because I understand I usually never come live on Fridays. It's just the day I had time and I decided to leave to record this presentation. And people who truly want to live stutter-free, they will come and watch this recorded presentation. So unfortunately, this is also an evil advice when they recommend you sit down and you do loud vowel pronunciation. They believe that the most common problem all people who stutter have is that they cannot produce vowel sounds. I have plenty of explanation why this happens, but the fact of the matter is that people who started do have difficulty producing words that begin with the vowel sounds. They go like, let's say if they want to say the word Anna, they would go, Anna, right? Or they would block like this, Anna. Okay, so the beginning of the word is always when they have a hard time. But in reality, people who speak normally never even think about the beginning of the word. They simply have trained their tongue to say the whole word. The tongue keeps moving from the beginning of the word, from start to finish. Their tongue makes these movements without stopping, and they never ever worry about the beginning of the word. So, this is the problem. So, when they recommend people who stutter should do loud vowel pronunciation technique every day, you got to practice every day. This is a horrible band-aid. Yeah, it may help you a little bit, but it's crazy. You can't waste your life on sitting at home and doing all these exercises. It's crazy. It's impossible for anyone. Don't even give yourself a negative attitude. Don't scold yourself. It's impossible to do all these techniques each and every day the way they recommend you do them. So let's look at what the normal person speaks, because when we talk about the truth, I call it this is an adequate person. Here is the technique. Okay, here is what I say. I mean, not I, all normal people. But when I speak, my words will be after the technique. Okay? So listen what normal people think of stutterers.
Many people who stutter feel blocked because they still haven't adjusted their tongue for accurate production of all the words and still struggle to say certain sounds. They often replace such difficult words with the ones that are easy for them to say.
Okay, so this is what kind of hi Davin. Oh God, it's hard for me to read your name. Divin Shukataria. Hi, thank you for joining me on YouTube. I apologize. I am live today in the day when I never go live. Just felt like doing this. Okay. So, yes, if you have any questions, Shu, go ahead and type your questions. And today we're talking about techniques for people who stutter that they learn from speech therapists, speech pathologists, from other people who stutter, or they just invent themselves these techniques. And I'm explaining that each and every technique causes you to stutter, because each and every speech technique that you learn, you invent, is the way people don't speak. Normal people never speak in this way. Okay? People never do what here they recommend they do. Mom, I only stutter on certain words. Yes. So this is why you need to learn these certain words. It's very simple. How do you learn these certain words? Come join me. I will explain it to you. In order for me to explain this, I would need to give you about 6 hours of my time. You need to learn these certain words that you still haven't balanced your speech on. You need to balance your speech in any speaking mode, anywhere, in front of anyone. How do you do it? I can teach you in only 6 hours, if it is truly just certain words. Okay? But let's look. Here is the technique. How can I join you? It's very simple. You go to livestutterfree.com. Let me type it for you. Okay, www. It's really not easy for me. Yeah, I know you're from India, but I teach online, so it doesn't matter. Live Stutter Free. Oh, live. Give me 1 second. I have so many wires here. Live. Oops. Free.com. Did I do it right? Aha. Okay. So here is the website. You go there. Also, guys, what I recommend, I keep forgetting. I finally have the app working. Live Stutter Free app. If you go to Google Apps, you can download my app and begin your education. Begin your education, begin learning. I have downloaded my books there. I have downloaded plenty of my lessons when I did my live podcasts a few years ago. It's all there. All my books are there. Go and download. It's pretty affordable today. So I know people just keep telling me that they have joined some other apps, which of course speech professionals, conventional speech professionals have a lot of money to create these apps, and they are using these apps. They are making money of these apps. But I have finally released my app, and I truly recommend you join it. It's not that expensive, okay? And you pay once a month a small fee, and you go on your path. Or you can download for a little bigger amount of money. You can download any of my books and begin learning lessons that I teach. Of course, it will take much more time for you to learn, simply because, okay, let me switch back to me on Instagram. I don't see people watching me. So once again, my recommendation, go to Google app and join my app. Download it to your phone. This is one recommendation. But the best recommendation, of course, is you go to my website, livestutterfree.com, and I join Samurai, but those live lessons didn't. I mean, this is crazy what they Samurai. You got to understand, everyone has their own ideas about what you people who stutter need. I guess this is why I have less people today joining my program, because they are still trying all kinds of samurai apps. It's crazy, but yeah, what can you say? You joined it, you finally realized samurai. Samurai. Even the name I like better, samurai. A person who is fighting and killing others, right? Samurai. So the bottom line, Divinashu. When I see you and you introduce yourself, I will probably be able to learn to move my tongue accurately, but I need to hear your name when you say it. Okay, so what I recommend, you go to livestutterfree.com and you subscribe, register to watch my free webinar about 4 precise steps. What anyone on the planet needs to do to never stutter again. Never stutter again. The webinar will help you understand what speaking truly is. What is it to, let me go make myself bigger so you could see me. You need to understand what stuttering truly is, because what you believe about stuttering may be a whole bunch of false information, a whole bunch of lies. I like Simple words. A whole bunch of lies you still believe. The lies are still in your head, and you are acting in speech according to these lies, according to this disinformation. Okay? So my recommendation, Divin Shu, you go to livestutterfree.com and register to watch my webinar. After you have watched the whole webinar, it's about 40-minute presentation. About that, hopefully you're going to be able to understand every word. Hopefully you're going to be able to enjoy it, because I know what people feel after they have watched the whole webinar. It makes them happy because they finally see the answers to all their questions. And it makes sense. Whenever I talk, it makes sense to all people who stutter, at least most. Of course, I'm not going to talk about the ones who, these kind of people exist. You tell them, lift your arm, and they put it down. You tell them, shut up, and they begin to scream. Yes, these kind of people also exist. Okay. How to use our tongue properly to speak. Sinjan, Sujan, Suyan. I don't know how to read your name. I apologize. So Sujan Khanal wrote, how to use our tongue properly to speak. This is an absolutely perfect question. This is the question that all people who stutter should ask, instead of all kinds of weird techniques that they are learning from speech therapists and former speech, people who stutter and the ones who still stutter. Okay, please understand, you have the tongue, and your tongue is no different than my tongue. Your problem is that you are not using it correctly. To use correctly your tongue, you need to understand that our tongue must be trained to move in one direction, which is falling down in our mouth. Falling down. And Sujan, what do you do when you block? You go like, you push your tongue up. You move your tongue up. You move your lip up and begin pushing the top parts of your head, pushing it up. And then you say, I am blocked. Of course you're blocked because you're moving your tongue in the wrong direction. This is kind of an overview, the summary. The tongue should fall down freely in your mouth. Freely. Imagine, I'm going to explain what I mean. Let me go to here so you could see me. Do you see this? This is the tennis ball. So when I say freely, I mean this. When nothing and nobody is holding the tongue, and the tongue falls down. Falls down. This is called the free fall. Free fall. But Sujan, why your tongue is not falling down in your mouth? You tell me, do you know that? Respond. Do you know why your tongue is falling down the way the ball is falling down? Why this ball is falling down? Because I let it go. I am not trying to hold it. I'm not squeezing it. I'm not pushing anything. I just let the ball fall down freely. This is what all normally speaking people do. This is what I am doing. I never ever think what to do with my tongue. Never. Because my tongue has already been trained to fall freely, fall down in my mouth freely. Sujan, tell me, have I answered your question? This is how all normal people speak. But of course, with people who stutter, for you, in order for you to be able to do the same, you need to understand, what does it mean letting my tongue fall freely in my mouth? What do you mean? How do I need to do that? Come to me. I will explain it to you. It will take only 6 hours of my time to explain it to you. Then, of course, I recommend you stay with me for a couple more days to practice it, to do it, to apply what you just learned in practice, and feel how pleasant it is to have your tongue falling like this when nothing is tensed, nothing, no tension. It's really pleasant when the tongue is falling down in our mouth. Zone FF Gaming wrote, yes, that makes sense. Of course, it's so easy. And by the way, when you forget about everything, forget that you stutter, all of a sudden you begin to speak normally, like all people on the planet. All of a sudden, why? Because your tongue is falling down freely and you feel the balance. But then you begin running like a crazy chicken with head off. You begin going over the speed limit because you still don't understand what your tongue can do, what your tongue cannot do, how your tongue is doing it. That is so easy. That is falling down in your mouth. You still don't understand that. So you are speaking fine, and all of a sudden you begin thinking, oh, wow, I'm speaking so well. What is it that I'm doing? Boom. You begin not letting your tongue fall down. You stop your tongue from falling down. You stop it. Okay? So once again, if you want to achieve the 100% balanced speech, you got to balance your speech. You need the balance beam that walkers on the rope carry. What is the balance beam? It's the natural speaking standards, norms. I call them etalons because etalon is something that is always the same. It's the law of nature. It's always the same. It's never different. Okay. So Divanshu. See, every time I read it in a different way. I apologize. I'll say Divanshu. This makes sense to me. Divanshu wrote, yes, you are right. I did an extensive research on stuttering myself, like Dr. Mort Cooper, etc., but didn't find a permanent solution from mental to physical aspects of stuttering. Here, I'm here. I have written so many books. It's all about how to balance your speech naturally. Why people stutter, what blocks people, why they cannot say the word, why can't you say the word, why you say the word perfectly before you enter the store. You just said it perfectly out loud. Nobody was in front of you. But the moment you enter the store and you appear in front of a salesperson, you block. Why? What blocks you? I have been explaining this for 10 years. But today I'm sick and tired of explaining because people like miracles. People don't want to study. People want a miracle cure. This is what people want. They want a cure. But dear people who stutter, what kind of cure you want? You're not sick. Please understand, Sujan, Divanshu, whoever, Mahmoud, Whoever is here, Kak de Balu, whatever people are watching me, guys, you are 100% healthy individuals. Nothing is wrong with you. You have a perfect brain. You have a perfect tongue. You have perfect lungs. Everything is perfect in you. You're simply disbalanced, discoordinated. You still haven't learned how to balance your speech with the speech norms, speech standards, natural. This is the key word, natural speech balance. This is why you need to have a permanent solution from mental to physical aspects of stuttering, mental and physical aspects of stuttering. The add-on speech unblocking is called psychophysical program. From psycho to physical, psychophysical program. It works with 100% success rate. 100% success rate. And not in some unknown future. It works right now. Right now. Okay. So Sujan, can you show me can you show me an example? Does breathing takes huge part in your technique? Number one, I just explained to you, breathing is natural. You don't need any technique to learn to breathe. Sujan, I don't know if you're still with me because I see less people now watching me. Someone dropped. Tell me, whenever you are asleep at night, who is breathing for you? Who? Who is breathing when you are sleeping at night? Mother Nature. God. You don't need to do anything. Your body, your lungs are doing its job. I call our lungs the air pump. You will breathe always. When you speak, you have enough air in your lungs to speak as well. And I've talked about it so much. Even if you breathe out all the air, you think you don't have any air left, do this experiment. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe out all the air and begin counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, blah, blah. You will be shocked because you still will be able to speak. Not for a long time, of course, but you still will say at least 7, maybe 15 words after you truly believe that you don't have any air left in your lungs. Why? Come to me. I'll explain it to you because this is how Mother Nature created us. So, Sujan, to answer your question, breathing takes huge part in all the techniques, but not with me. I explain to my students, forget about breathing. Forget about breathing. It will happen. You need to focus on one thing, on the correct speech actions, period. But what are they? Correct speech actions. Are you aware of them? Do you know what is it exactly you need to do when you speak? There are only 3 simple steps. Only 3 that each and every person on the planet is doing when they speak. Only 3. What are they? Even if I tell them these 3 steps, you will look at me and you will say, huh? What? How do I do this? Step number 1, if I explain it to you, how do I do this step? If I tell you this second step, you will again ask, how do I do this? If I tell you about step number 3, again, you're going to ask me, how do I do this? It's like revelation for my students when they join my class classroom. When they enroll in my class, they begin finally having revelation after revelation that they don't need to do any breathing techniques. They don't need to do any jaw techniques, special every day. I forgot that I have prepared a lot of videos for you. Okay. But because you're asking questions, I stopped. You don't need to do any of the techniques. You don't need techniques, period. Because each and every technique, once again, is an abnormal way of speaking, and it is a form of stuttering. Okay, how are you? Alice Road, how are you? I'm from Baghdad. Oh, Baghdad. Hi, Alice. Sorry, guys. I didn't see any questions here on Instagram. This is why I am now focused on YouTube. That's where I get most of the questions. Okay, so Divanshu wrote, till class 5, I was speaking publicly perfectly, answering every question in front of whole class. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I can show you the message. Yeah. So this is what Divanshi Katara wrote. He wrote, till class 5, I was speaking publicly perfectly, answering every question in front of whole class, but somewhere in the way I got bad. Yeah. This is what happens. This is a very typical example you just gave me, Divanshu. Because before you were in the 5th grade, you were just speaking, you were just blah, blah, blah. I am sure your speech wasn't perfect, but you didn't care. Because each and every child is a stutterer, each and every one. People are all people. When they are born, they don't know how to speak. And they all, look, Anna is here. Hi, Zahir. I don't know how to pronounce your word. Yes, I am here. I'm always here. Don't lose me. I'm always here. It's just whenever I am busy writing the book, communicating with students, of course, I don't have time to go live, which I should. I know I should. But sorry, guys, I don't have time for this because even on YouTube, I don't monetize my videos and I don't get paid for that. The only time I get paid for my work is when I work with my students. Okay. Now, let me repeat again. I just released the Google app. It's called Live Stutter-Free Google app. I truly recommend you guys download this app on your phone. Some information is free, of course. That's the way they do it, right? I have to do it. But in order for you to help me to at least earn a little bit of money, you gotta enroll in some not expensive courses. You gotta begin taking courses on my Google app, from my Google app. It took me a lot of money to create it, to release it, to advertise it. I mean, I haven't even paid for advertisement yet. Okay. But I do recommend you go to Google Apps and put in Live Stutter-Free and the app will pop up. So click on it, download it on your phone and begin your education. At least begin. Because there are all my books. There is so much stuff there. Okay. But to answer Divanshu's, not question, but just his statement that he was young and he was not speaking well, which is totally normal because he was still learning to speak. Okay. But then in class 5, he probably was reading out loud in front of the class and he made a few mistakes and kids started laughing. This happens very often. Okay. Stay with me, Zahir. Hopefully I am saying your name correctly. Okay, I will get to your questions. Let me finish with the question I got from Divanshu. Okay, so, and when he made that mistake in the class, reading out loud, and kids started laughing at him, he started thinking, what do I say? How do I say it? And that's when he, oops, okay. And that's when he squeezed his tongue. He started holding his tongue, not letting his tongue drop freely, fall freely down. That's when it happened, Divanshu. Okay, hide. Now, Divanshu wrote the next message here. Show. Divanshu wrote, I don't expect any miracle. I'm ready for the hard work. There are so many questions in my mind. Stay with me. Every question is a block, by the way. Divanshu, if you're still with me, I don't know where the rest of them have come. But Divanshu, if you're still here, you got to understand every question that you have in your mind is your mental block. And let me explain to you why. Let's say I want to let my ball drop, but can I drop this ball if I don't check with reality? Good, Divanshu. Then I will continue talking about that. I see. Thank you for the feedback. So here, I want to drop the ball, right? Boom. And of course, I don't want this ball to fall on the floor because then I will be in need to begin looking for it, hunting it and stuff. So before I can let this ball fall freely, I check with reality. I check where is my other hand so the hand could catch it, right? So here we go. I check with reality. Here is my hand. And now I can let it drop. Boom. Now I can. So before I let my tongue, or ball in this case, fall freely, I have a question. Where is my hand? Right? I see where I answered my question. Here is my hand. Now I can let my ball fall down. Do you understand my analogy? People who stutter also need each and every of their questions answered. Then their mind becomes clear of all the lies they still believe. So without clearing your mind and answering each and every question, you will never be able to speak freely. Freedom of speech will never be available for you, Divanshu. You must get all the questions answered, and then you will have the balance beam. See? You will be able, if you, like, for example, the balance beam, I'm talking about a person balancing on the rope. The person has trained himself that if he feels that his body goes to the side, he needs to move the balance beam in a certain way. And he does it, and he gets balanced back. And he's not falling off that rope. Do you understand me? Okay, yes, Divanshu. Divanshu wrote, yes, I understood. This is how I work. I explain, I answer questions of my students in the way until they say, Anna, I got it. Everything is clear now. Okay, so let me go back to the questions on Instagram. Alice wrote, okay, no, Zuhar wrote, how emotions related to words like B, C, D, O. Number one, B, C, D, and O are not words. They are letters. Letters. But the names of the letters B, C, D, O, of course, they are words. So what do you mean? Do you mean the names of the letters as words, Or do you mean literally the names of the letters, that you are attempting to speak according to the names of the letters? This is one problem, totally different, okay? Or you're talking about emotions related to any word. I will tell you, I will answer your questions. There is zero connection, zero connection of emotions to the words. Are you shocked? Zero connection. It's simply no balance. You, people who stutter, do not have a balanced speech. You don't have a balancer. You don't have a balanced beam. If you want to say the word, no, whatever, bull, right? You want to say the word bull. You need to have the natural balancer, balance beam, and the natural speaking norms. In order to say the word bull, you would need to train your tongue to freely fall in your mouth 2 times. Bull, bull. Your tongue must be trained to do that 1 time in your life. This is how children learn. Once they have adjusted their tongue to say the word in exactly the same way as their mommy or daddy or a teacher or a friend, they do it 1 time. And once they have adjusted their tongue to fully, like freely drop in the mouth 2 times, they can say the word ball anywhere, anytime. They are finally feel balanced. But it does happen when the tongue is still not adjusted, still not, you haven't done it correctly. Or maybe you have done it correctly when you are with your mommy and daddy. But then you stand up in front of the class, right? And you cannot say, you begin doing this instead of making 2 movements, ball. Why don't you do this correct movements of the tongue? Why your tongue doesn't drop? Because someone is holding it and not letting it fall down. Why? Because you don't have an experience to balance your perfect speech in front of other people. Speaking in front of other people is the most challenging speaking mode. It's a challenge for all people, not just for people who stutter. It's a challenge for me at times, especially when I'm talking about something that I'm not sure about. It does happen. If I haven't said this word enough, if my tongue is not adjusted for this word 100% yet, especially considering the fact that I speak English as a second language, and I don't have such a big tongue vocabulary in English language as the size of my tongue vocabulary in my native language, Russian. Okay? This is why whenever I begin speaking, I do stumble sometimes. Why? Because my tongue is still not adjusted to some words, to say them with accuracy, with ease. And what do I do when I don't know how to say the word? What do? I simply go to Google app and I listen how this word sound. And I repeat like a parrot, like a monkey. I listen like a parrot. Monkeys don't move their tongue to say words. Parrots do. So I simply listen to the word and I adjust my tongue to say it correctly. And I balance it. This is my balancer. And whenever I'm in front of others, I do exactly the same. How am I capable of doing this? Because I clearly understand what my tongue is supposed to do. I clearly understand it. Okay, so hopefully I explained. Oh, I have so many questions. I apologize, guys. Okay, you are very inspiring. Of course, I am inspiring. It's always inspiring when you hear the truth. I am sick and tired of the lies. You go online and you hear so much lies. You see all these YouTube videos. This is why I have created recently seven 1 minute videos, under 1 minute videos, where I explain don't do this technique, don't follow this evil technique. This evil technique makes you stutter. Don't do this. This is crazy. You destroy your own speech when you use this technique. Let's go. Okay, let me answer one more question. Divanshu wrote, no, wait a second, not Divanshu. Okay, FF Fire Gaming. When your tongue falls, where should it touch in your mouth? You're asking great questions again. FF Fire Gaming. Normal people never ask these questions. This is very important. You gotta understand what you should do, where you should touch. I'm gonna share this question. Okay, when your tongue falls, where it should touch in your mouth. Who cares? Who cares where it should touch? Normal people don't care about that. But when I teach, I explain how to feel that your tongue is finally on the bottom of your mouth. This is how young children learn that their tongue is on the bottom of the mouth. If you know your tongue has two surfaces. See, I'm explaining everything freely. My saliva is coming out. I'm excited when I speak the truth. See, this is your tongue. There are two surfaces of your tongue, the top and the bottom. When your tongue goes up, you feel that it touches somewhere here, top surface of your mouth. When your tongue drops, we feel that the tongue touches something on the bottom of our mouth. Something, because I don't care where it touches. As long as it sounds right, your tongue is doing a great job. See, and you are asking questions that normal people never ask. It doesn't matter where your tongue falls. When the tongue falls, goes like this. Let's say ta, ta. See my tongue, ta. It's somewhere on the bottom of my mouth. I don't care where it is. The bottom line, I hear that I did ta clearly. Ta, pa, ra, sa. I feel that my tongue drops, has dropped, because my tongue tells me. It's called sensory connection with your tongue. I teach this. Sensory connection with the tongue. This is very important because sensory connection is what we have for anything we do. When you are writing, you have sensory connection with your hand, writing hand with your pen. When you are walking, you have a sensory connection with your legs. You know you're walking. Do you ever ask questions? When I put my leg down, what should I touch? I mean, what should I feel I touch? No. When you are writing, do you ever ask question? When I move my hand, let's say for letter A, like this, like this, like this, what should my fingers touch? Should I feel it? It's a really strange question, but I would like to say thank you, FF Fire Gaming, for asking their question. Because you know what is the stupidest question? It's the one that you had in your mouth, in your mind, but never asked. This is the dumbest question. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't think that your question may be dumb. Yeah, it may be, but who cares? Who cares? As long as you get the answer, the moment you get the answer, you are not going to be dumb anymore. You're going to become one drop smarter, one drop wiser after you hear the answer to this dumb question. Okay, let me go back to Instagram. Okay, Elias wrote, good, unfortunately, huh? Elias wrote, how are you? I'm from Baghdad. Okay. Anna is here. Okay, bye. But I'm too far away. Elias wrote, I'm too far away. What's the difference? How far away are you? Can you hear me? Can you see me now? This is how I teach my students from all over the world. It doesn't matter where we live today. They have given us this technology. When I say they, I know for sure that this technology, Instagram, whatever, social communication, digital communication, it's not been invented by people. We're too stupid, too dumb to invent. Forgot the word. Invent. See? This is why I stumbled and I stopped. I was looking for the word invent. The word that I had in my mind was invest. No, that's not the right word. And I stopped and I was searching for the word and I found it. Invent. Invent. So people did not invent internet. We didn't invent it. So someone gave us this technology so we could finally learn the truth about things we don't have an ability to learn where we live. You live in India or in Africa or in other countries, even in the United States of America. Anywhere you go, you can hear only a whole bunch of lies. That stuttering is some kind of a sickness, that people who stutter need to do techniques every day, they need to do exercises. This is all a whole bunch of lies. But if you don't go to Anna Dieter, if you don't join Live Stutter-Free app, if you don't land on my website, livestutterfree.com, register and watch my free webinar, you will never learn the truth. You will still believe that you are special, that you are born different, that you are not just like everyone else, that your wiring in the brain are wrong. You're going to believe all these lies. What can I say? So to answer your concern that you are too far away, Elias, join my Live Stutter Free website or app. I have my own app now. Begin your education. And again, come to me. Schedule a free video call with me. Video, this is very important that I see you. I see what you're doing, how many mistakes you're making and what your mistakes are. So I could guide you what you should do, where you should go, and how you should achieve your stutter-free life in the shortest time. Because Elias, time is all what we have. Time, our life. We don't know if we're going to be alive tomorrow, right? So if you want to get rid of stuttering in the shortest time possible, you got to come to me. See me during the video call, anywhere, Instagram, Zoom, Skype. What do you call them? StreamYard now, they can do it, right? Or WhatsApp, anywhere, I am available. So the distance doesn't matter. Okay, Zuhair wrote, your name is Latina, how you American? No, my name is not Latina. My name is, number one, it's You mean Anna? Anna? The first name? Number one, the name Anna is international. It's international. You can see the word Anna, Anna, Anita, Anushka in any language in the world, because it's very easy for the tongue to produce this word. Just two drops of the tongue, Anna, and that's it. It's very easy to say. You can see it in any language. My last name, Dieter, is American. It's actually German. And it's coming, the origin of my last name, Dieter, is from my husband. But the word Dieter has very specific root. If you know the word deed, when you do something good for people, or bad, of course, deed, it's an action. It's something that you do for other people. Deed. This is my last name, Dieter. I am all for making good deeds in my life. I'm writing books. I have created the Google app for you guys. These are all my good deeds for you, for humanity, for humans. Okay. So how emotions related? Okay, I did this. LS wrote, we want your help. I know you do. We need exercises to get rid of stuttering. No, you don't. Elias, I've been talking all along about this. You don't need any exercises. This is a big fat lie. I can't come. And secondly, my English is not good. Help us with exercises to get rid of stuttering. My dear Elias, let me show to you. Okay, join my TikTok. Can you join my TikTok? Live Stutter-Free. And watch all 7. Oh, actually, I'm going to download the last one, the 7th one today. I did show the harm of 7 exercises that they recommend. You don't need to do any exercises. You need to understand what you do with your tongue, what you do with your, how do you use your mind? How do you use your, everything should be in coordination. Everything should be balanced. But speech is produced with only one muscle consciously. Consciously, at first, when you are training yourself, yes, it is a conscious action. And then you just keep the sensory connection with your tongue. You feel that it is moving down, dropping freely falling in your mouth. And you are enjoying it because it's so pleasant. So once again, both your excuses, Elias, for not enrolling in your class, I find them not excuses. Truly excuses for not doing it. Excuse number 1, that you need exercises. No, you don't. You don't need any exercises. You need to understand. Let me give you a simple explanation. Imagine you want to learn to dance. Okay, because I am a dancer. I go and do dancing Zumba practice twice a week. I dance. When I join my class, I am a really fluent dancer. Whenever I dance, the dances that I know, the choreography, I have trained my body to do. So when I'm doing this, I'm really good. But the moment our teacher brings the new choreography and I begin learning the new dance, guess what happens to me? I become a stutterer in my body. I cannot be fluent dancing because my body is not trained to move, to dance it. It takes a few repetitions. I watch my teacher, I repeat, I mimic like a parrot. I mimic the movements of my teacher. one time, second time, third time. I do it for as long as I need it. And eventually, maybe after a few sessions, I become fluent as well, just like the teacher. Do you understand me? So if you call these exercises, then okay. But in reality, you don't need to do any exercises. You need to see how to understand, see and understand how to do it right, and then do it for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, if you want to keep it, if you want to, let's say you have trained your tongue to say the word ball, you need to repeat these two movements of your tongue for the rest of your life. Ball, 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 ball. Anywhere you are, you need to make exactly the same movements of the tongue. But is it enough if you have trained your tongue to say only one word, ball? No, you need to train your tongue to say thousands of words. And this is what scares even my students the most, because they need to do the work. And I saw that Divansha wrote somewhere that he is ready to do the hard work. If you are, come to me, because I am a hard worker myself. I'm a workaholic. I work 24/7. I never stop working. Okay? So the first excuse that you need exercises is wrong, what's your name? Elias. The second one is that you live too far away. Again, wrong, because I teach online. You push the button and I am sitting across you for hours. Hours. This is what I do when I teach 3-day classes, 1-day class. I sit for hours. I will not leave you until you show me your thumb up and you say, thank you so much, Anna. I got it. Now it's my turn. Here, you have your balance beam. Now it's your time, your turn to keep balancing. Keep balancing. So you would never, ever fall in speaking. And this is what my students, my graduates, sometimes don't like doing. They begin doing it and then they stop doing it. And if you haven't trained your tongue, if you haven't given your tongue the balance, it will not fall freely. It needs to be, the job has to be completed. The muscle training has to be completed. It's very important. Okay, so let me go FF Fire Gaming. Oh no, Divanshu wrote, wait a second. Oh, and another excuse, sorry, Alicia said that his English is not really good. You know what? This is also an excuse. Nothing can stop you to learn to speak English better. There are so many apps today. You don't even need to pay. You don't even need to go anywhere. All you need is just download apps and begin learning words. They're free. Okay. Zohar, wait a little bit. I'm going to go and answer question on YouTube. F Fire Road. Oh no, Divanshu wrote, why when I act or do a foreign accent, I don't stutter? Because when you do so, where is your attention? You are doing something correctly. But do you truly want to speak like a... Number one, when you act, what words are you using? When you act, your words are, you're using words that have been in the memory of your mind and of your tongue. Actors have practiced their roles a lot. They have trained their tongue to move. This is why when they act, they never stumble, because they have practiced. They have balanced their speech with their balance beam, which is called naturally normal way of speaking, saying these words. So to put it in a simple way, Divanshu, when you act, you present words that your tongue already knows. How does it know? Because you have trained it. You have to learn the words before you can act, right? Talk to me, respond. Also, when you pretend you're speaking with a foreign accent, it's again something that you have trained yourself to do. You have trained the accent and you begin doing it. And again, how much do you do it? Do you go all day long and speak with a foreign accent? Do you do that? Of course not. Of course not. So all these things that you believe, they are all not really reality. Yes, you can. Let's say I take the word ball, because I happen to have this in my hand, right? And what if I say not ball, but ball? Pretend I speak with a different accent and I say ball instead of ball. I can't do it because this is what I want to do. And this is what my intention is. I want to do ball. I will say ball. But if I want to say ball, I need to again have my tongue trained to do the ball. And I have to have an intention to say not ball, but ball. Are you understanding me, Devanshu? It's very simple. In order for you to say that you never stutter when you speak with a foreign language, you must speak with this foreign language for 8, 6, 7 hours, 9 hours straight and see if you can do it. I'm sure you will be tired eventually of doing this accent. You will finally drop it and switch to your stuttering because it's something that's what you know. Okay. Let me go to Zuhair. Oh, got a lot of questions. Okay, Zohar. It's normal to stutter then. If you don't want to stutter, you stop speaking. Huh? It's normal to stutter then. If you don't want to stutter, you stop speaking. I'm not sure what you mean. One thing I understand that we always do what we want. If you don't want to speak, then of course you will not stutter. You will hide. But if you want to speak, which is natural for all humans, because if you don't speak, you're not going to be any different from a monkey. Monkeys don't speak. And when they speak, they go, this is how they do it. Right? If you want to be a human being, then you need to speak. And if you want to speak in the same way how all people on the planet speak, you got to do the same as they do. That's my answer for Zuhar. So if you stop speaking, then let other people speak and let them be humans. And you're going to be struggling. Okay, let me wave to the, cancel, wave. Okay, let me see if there are any other questions. No, I'm done on Instagram. Let me see, Divanshu. Oh, FF Fire Gaming wrote, please show me an example of this tongue technique by using it in a sentence. Perfect question, FF Fire. Hope you're still here. I'm not sure you are. Show me an example of this technique by using it in a sentence. Number one, FF Fire Gaming and others. I don't use any techniques. This is not a technique I'm talking about. See how it's wired in your mind that you need a technique. Ask a parrot, Do you know that parrots speak? Parrots, birds, they look at you and they listen to you and they mimic what you say. What technique do they use? They don't have any technique. And this is what I teach my students. You don't need any technique. And what I'm talking about, it's the Mother Nature's technique. This is the way we are. This is the way all normal people on the planet use their speech instrument, which is exactly the same in your body. You also have exactly the same speech instrument, but unfortunately, you do not use it correctly. You still believe you need that technique. See, it's even in your question. Technique. You don't need a technique. You need to understand what you have here, what your speech instrument is, and how you're supposed to play this instrument, to extract any word, the voice melody from this speech instrument, speech pipe, the way I call it. You simply need to learn to use your speech pipe and play it with accuracy, with ease. Play each and every word on this speech instrument, speech pipe. And when you have learned, have adjusted your tongue to extract any word of your speech instrument, you don't need any technique. The other part of your question that is also really wrong, it shows me that you have a lot of wrong information on your mind, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of false information, a lot of lies. This is the easier word for me to say, lies. You still believe that people speak in sentences. Sentences? Who told you this? Normal people never, ever speak in sentences. Normal people don't even write sentences. Just imagine you want to write something. What is it that you begin with? You have to come up with the first word and you move your hand because your hand already knows it. The muscle memory, your hand has a muscle memory. How to move it, your, your fingers, your pen, how to do it to produce the written word. You have a muscle memory in your hand and you just do it. Then you decide what is the next word and you do the same with the next word. People speak in words, in words. And when we write word, then the next one, then the next word, and at the end, we create a sentence. No normal human on the planet ever speaks in sentences. You got this false information, you know from where? You got this information when you were in school, when you learned to read and learned rules for writing, for reading. That's when they told you about sentences. And unfortunately, you now attempt to speak in the way you write, in the way you read. Sentences exist only in writing, only. When you open the book, you see the dot at the end of a sentence. After many, many words, you see the dot. And you know, okay, this is the end of the sentence. But when we speak, we don't have any dots. I can speak forever. Look, I've been live for 1 hour, 39 minutes. Do I need any sentences? Do I care about any sentences? All I do, I speak in words. First word, second word, third word, word after word after word. Why? Because my tongue has been trained to produce each and every word that I say with accuracy and ease. My tongue has the muscle memory. My tongue knows how to do it. And I just do it. I just do it. And this is what I teach all my students. When you know what to do, you just do it. Okay? Please understand. So, to show you an example of this technique by using it in a sentence, I can't because number one, I'm not using any technique, and number two, I'm not speaking in sentences. Do you understand now why I say yes? Some advices, some recommendations are dumb, but I am really happy you asked this question. I'm really happy you asked because it shows me what's in your head. Okay. And if you were my student, I know what I would have started with. Would have started with teaching you, with what I just told you. This would have been the beginning of our class. Okay, let me see. There are people watching me on Instagram. View request. Someone asked to be live. I don't know if this person wants to be. Mahmoud joined. You waved. Sent a request to be. Mahmoud sent a request. Okay, you know what? I've tried many times this, accepting this request. It never ended up with anything good. So I'm going to just ignore this request. If you want to talk to me, type to me privately and talk to me in private. Okay. Zuhair wrote, there is no formula for words like Zuhair to know how to say it correctly. Of course, there is a no formula. Of course. Number one, of course, I need to hear the word. You know your name. I don't. I don't know how it sounds. If your name is Zuhar, it's Zuhar. Free falls of the tongue. If your name is Zuhair, then it's going to be Zuhair. It's more free falls of the tongue. If your name is Zohair, it's going to be Zohair. It depends. The formula will always depend on the way the word sounds. It doesn't depend on the letters. The reason I don't know what your name is, because I don't hear you say the word. I'm looking at the letters and they don't tell me exactly how to read your name. This is why I am stumbling. I am stuttering when I'm attempting to say your name. Zauhair, Zuhair. I don't know how to say your name. And this is stuttering. Right now, I feel like a stutter. I don't know how to say your name correctly. But when I hear you say your name, I immediately explain to you what you need to do. You do it, and your stuttering is saying so well, farewell, right? Oh, goodbye. Goodbye forever, right? Okay, so Zuhar wrote something. Zuhair, okay, he wrote, Anna saying the truth and just 4 people watching. Oops, yep, that's what it is. No, I mean, I understand that I didn't even announce my today's live stream. That's why I don't have too many people watching. But once again, you got to understand there are not too many smart people on the planet. The majority of people are not that smart. This is why when I communicate with people, I never have too many people watch me. I remember the most I've had was like 20 people. That's it. People are not interested in anything that is making sense. People want to be entertained. People want to listen to someone who is doing something like this. Okay. These kind of people make even money. They monetize. They are YouTube. I don't. We're a non-profit organization. I don't even have enough people, subscribers, because I don't care whether you are subscribed or not. I want you to watch, to listen, to ask your question, listen to my questions, because I know if you are smart, you will finally join my class. Finally, you will do. If you're not that smart, then you're going to be continuing coming up with excuses. Too expensive, too far away, don't speak English well, this. You're going to come up with many, many excuses. I know how it works. I've been helping people who stutter since 19 no, sorry, it's Raman 1998. I have been helping people who stutter since 2012. 2012, that's when my first student came to me, Roger, English speaking student. 2012. So it's 10 years I've been teaching this. People come to me, they learn how to speak, and then everyone is different. Some of them, because once again, I want to talk about it. This is very important. The result of your success doesn't depend just on a teacher. Yeah, of course, it's very important for me to make sure that when I teach, I don't leave any unanswered question. I must notice if you make any mistake and immediately guide you to the way you're doing it correctly. But you got to understand, I cannot do it for you. I will explain it to you. I will demonstrate it to you. I will tell you what exactly you need to do. But I cannot do it for you. You are the one who must do it. You are the one who must develop your tongue vocabulary. You are the one who must remember to keep this balance being, which is naturally natural speech norm standards. You are the one who must balance your speaking for each and every word. You are the one. And if you are like some of the students in schools, there are a lot of students like that who don't like a teacher, run away from a teacher, skip classes, ditch classes, right? That's how they say. When they run away from the teacher, don't like to do homework, don't do what the teacher says. There is nothing I can do. Your success is impossible. You must do what I will tell you to do. You must. And I will tell you the way it is. Some of the students leave the class, they're so happy. They're speaking like everyone else. They're so happy. They are running around telling everybody, look, I am stutter-free. But they don't complete their balancing. They don't complete. Because when I teach my students, I teach them that they must complete the balancing of their speech in various speaking modes, different speaking modes. I can explain even in more details. Whenever we speak, it depends what speech mode we are speaking in. Sometimes we read out loud, we look at the words and we follow letters and we sound out letters. Of course, we need to be trained to know the rules, how to do that, how to sound out the words written in symbols, in letters. This is one set of skills. We need to know how to read out loud. It's only one of many, many speech modes. Let me give you example of another speech mode. After you have read out loud, you close the book. I'll ask you, now tell me what you have read about. This is a totally different speech mode. Now you're working with your memory. The letters are not in front of you. You don't see letters. And this is another set of skills. You got to balance. You got to balance your ability to work correctly with your memory. Pull the words out of your memory on your internal mental screen. Internal mental screen. To put it in a simple way, your memory. Okay? There are many, many other speech modes that I teach my students to balance. But I cannot do it for them. They must do it. There is another one, for example, the speech mode of a storyteller. When you are standing in front of someone or calling someone and telling stories, doing presentation, for example, and telling a story. Nobody is interrupting you. You're just telling a story. It's also a separate speech mode, and you got to balance when you are in this speech mode. There are several of them. I would say 7, 8. The ones I teach in my classroom. Speech modes that you need to balance your speech in. And of course, the most difficult, the most challenging speech mode is the skill, the balance of public speaking. Public speaking, whenever you're in front of public, of someone else, this is another set of skills you need to balance. You need to balance. This is why it's very important that you must complete balancing of your speech with the balance beam that I give to each and every student. Natural speaking norms. You gotta understand how to speak anywhere, anytime, in front of anyone. It's no different, but you gotta balance it. The rules are the same, but you gotta balance it. The beamer in your hands is the same. The beam, whatever. Balance beamer, balance beam. That's how they call it. Okay, I call it balancer. The rules, the speech norms are the same, but you got to balance your body so you could use it in any situation, no matter how high or low the rope is. You got to use the balance. This is why, if you truly want to be able to speak anywhere, anytime, in front of anyone, you got to come to me. I will teach you. I will give this balance beam, but you got to be the one who would have to balance yourself, balance your speech, and you would have to complete this work. Okay, sorry guys, I see your questions, but I'm like got carried away. So let me see. Yeah, this is why not too many people are watching me. SVP95. What if you have to talk on a radio for a job? And Stara, how do you deal with that? How can you deal with something you don't know how to do? Learn to do it. Of course, CVP 95. Answer my simple question. Why? Why do you have difficulty applying? I mean, why do you have difficulty in speaking when you are applying for a job? To talk on the radio, especially. If you want to talk on the radio, you got to be a perfect speaker. You can't apply for this kind of a job. You can't. First, you need to train your tongue to balance your speech for saying all the words that you want to say. And then you can apply for any speaking job. Okay? So, talk on the radio for a job and start how do you okay, so to answer your question in a simple way, you need to first balance your speech and then apply for any speaking job. Because in your case, when you want to talk on the radio, which is a great job, I congratulate you with this desire to speak on radio. But in your case, you are not balanced while talking in public. You get distracted, basically. You got to learn how to operate your body, mind, computer, and how to use your attention. You are not good at with your attention focus. You're not focusing on the correct things. What you should focus on, I'm here, come to me, and I will teach you. I will show to you what to do. Okay, I think I'm done with Instagram questions. Let me go back to YouTube. Okay. Dishu wrote a lot. Okay, let me push show. Okay, here is Divanshu's question. What happens when we stutter? What causes it to be on in the first place? It's a very good question, and it's a very bottom line question. What happens when you attempt to do something that you have never learned to do? What happens to you if you want to write the word in the language you never learned? What will happen if you want to throw the basketball in the basket, but you have never ever trained your arms, your body, your arms to throw the ball in the basket? It's naturally. When we don't know how to do something, we make mistakes. Stuttering is a whole bunch of mistakes the speech instrument user makes because he doesn't know how to use his perfect speech instrument yet. He doesn't know. And to answer in a very simple way, Divanshu, your question, what happens when you stutter? You stumble, your tongue stumbles because it doesn't know what to do. The tongue doesn't know, your mind doesn't, you don't know what to do. And when we don't know what to do and attempt, push ourselves to doing it, we make mistakes. It's natural. What causes it in the first place? Lack of speech training, muscle training, because speaking is a muscular action. Muscular action. When you let the tongue drop, the tongue is a big muscle. When we let it drop, it's a muscle action. Muscle action. And if the tongue is not trained to drop freely without any tension, then of course you're going to stutter. There is a very good word I use for stuttering as a synonym. It's the word stupor. Don't know if you're familiar with this word, stupor. S-T-U-P-O-R, stupor. When we use incorrectly our body, mind, computer, and for a split of a second, sometimes for a long time, of course, our body, mind, computer becomes like body becomes disconnected from the mind. A very good example of a stupor is when imagine you are driving a car and all of a sudden you see immediate danger. Like, for example, another car is running towards you and you see that you got to do something now, right? And you are so amazed with what you see that for a split of a second you go like, ah! You see the immediate danger coming at you. Then if you don't stay in this condition for too long, of course, you're going to make a decision and you're going to turn the steering wheel to the side to save your life. But this condition, like when you are disconnected, the mind and the body are not connected. This is what stuttering is. For a split of a second, when stutterers do instead of simply ball. When the tongue knows what to do, it will do it. But if you don't know yet how to do it, you're going to continue attempting. You know it's not working. You know the word is not coming out, but you keep doing it, pushing it. Sometimes you push so hard that the whole body becomes tense. Not just your lips, not just your tongue, the whole body. You see how stutters get so tense that people think they have a heart attack. So the bottom line, Devanshu, to answer your question, stuttering is indication of underdevelopment of the mature speaking skills. Why you haven't developed your mature speaking skills? Because what you mentioned to me when you were in the 5th grade, right? You said that. You stopped speaking. You started hiding from speaking because you were afraid that kids are going to laugh at you, right? And you stopped speaking. You stopped the muscle training of your tongue. You stopped doing it naturally. And maybe someone told you you were a stammerer. Someone told you, and you believed that. Someone told you that you needed some kind of a technique, some kind of whatever it is. And you believed it. You went to a speech therapist. I don't know in your case if you did. Okay, you live in India. Maybe you didn't. But the moment a person who stutters believes that he is special, he's different, he needs some techniques. Ooh, okay, was poor connection, but I'm back. Okay, the moment you believe that you are special, that's it, you are a stutterer. I'm here to tell you, you're a normal guy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are not sick. You don't need special techniques. You don't need special steps, exercises. You don't need all of this. All you need to get a balance beam, natural speech norms, and begin balancing your perfect body. Your perfect body. Your tongue is perfect. Your brain is perfect. Your air container is perfect. There is nothing wrong with you. Zero. You simply still haven't learned to balance your speech, your body to speak in balance, to speak normally. Okay? Divansha, I hope I explained it well. Okay, Divanshu wrote again, yes, you're right. But when I go to grocery and practice the word beforehand, it doesn't help. Of course, because you still you don't know what you need to do, what to focus. When you are in front of a salesperson, where is your attention? I'm sure it is on that person. You are in front of, see, here you are, here is the person you're talking to, and here you are. Okay, so you practice before you enter the store. You practice ball. Then you come and you want to buy a ball. You look at this person and your attention is on this person. That's it. Your attention is no longer on your tongue. Yeah. You get distracted. Your attention must be on the speaking actions, not on the person that you're talking with. This is the reason people who stutter block themselves like this. Whenever they want to speak, they begin rolling their eyes, averting your eye contact. You know what? I'm going to show you the last video I have. I think it's the last one. It's called eye contact. No, it's the previous one. I'm going to do this one. Okay.
Vocal cords while speaking, because they still haven't learned to use correctly their speech instrument.
But if you do this exercise,
Yeah, I'm going to
you will
start
reduce
from the
your
beginning.
stuttering.
It's called the gentle onset
Oh,
technique.
no, that's
Practice.
not it. This is not the one. Eye contact. I don't remember which one is that. Eye contact. This one?
They speed up to say everything at once without
Reduce your stuttering. It's called the
Pausing.
pausing technique.
No, where is the eye contact? Come on. Maybe
feeling
this one?
blocked. while attempting to speak because
Stuttering. It's called the
Aha.
confident eye.
Yes, that's what it is. So I want you to watch this video. I'm gonna put it here. Okay, so you guys on Instagram, alias, you could see too. Here is the video. I'm gonna turn it on. And Divanshu, let me know if you can hear this video and see it well.
most people who stutter are feeling blocked while attempting to speak because they use incorrectly their eyes.
But if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering. It's called the confident eye contact technique. People who stutter avert their eyes to avoid eye contact.
See, I wanted you to look at the girl's eyes. You see, she's talking, and look where her eyes are. Do you see that? This is what all people who stutter do. Whenever they speak, their eyes elsewhere. They're not even on the person who they're giving this information to. And this is the reason they block, because they attempt to find words elsewhere, but the words are in their memory. And the moment they begin moving their eyes, they block themselves. So this is what happens, Divanshu, when you are in front of that salesperson. Even though you have trained your tongue maybe to say the word, it doesn't help because you do this.
With the listener because they feel embarrassed. Don't break the eye. Avert their eyes to avoid eye contact with the listener because they feel embarrassed. Don't break the eye contact when you stammer. Keep looking at the listener. This technique will help you get
Did you see the girl's eyes? I'm going to show it to you. Look at the girl's eyes. This is what they recommend. You have to keep staring. Eye contact. This is what you get. All this trash information you get from speech therapists, from speech pathologists, from former stutterers. All these techniques, I got it from YouTube. They say you have to keep staring at people. Even when you stutter, keep staring at people. They believe that this will help you. How does this girl look? Does she look happy? Does she look relaxed? Of course not. This is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, keep watching.
Keep looking at the listener. This technique will help you get desensitized to the discomfort of stuttering.
Dear people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. Discover how all naturally balanced speakers use their eyes while talking to a listener. Learn to speak in the same standard way and never stutter again. Most people who stutter are
Okay, I turned it off. Okay, do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? That whenever you, what was the question? I forgot. I didn't put it on the screen. Here is your question, Divanshu. So this is what I mean, that whenever you get in front of the salesperson, you get distracted because your eyes are looking at the salesperson. And if you were going to say, "You're looking good today," or "I like your earrings today," if it's a cute lady, then you could have said that because that's where your eyes are. That's what words you are attempting to choose, right? To select for speaking. But if you want to say the word, let's say the ball, but at the same time your eyes are looking at the cute girl in front of you, you can't speak. You're blocked. Okay, it's very important to learn how to use your perfect body-mind computer. This is your body-mind computer. You got to understand this. Okay, Divanshu, I hope you understood me. Okay. Hey, quality, quantity, keep up the good work. Thank you. Yes, quality. You know what? Unfortunately, if you do it correctly, quality, and you do it many, many repetitions, you do it correctly, then I agree with you. Keep up the good work if you meant that. But if you are doing it wrong, you're doing it incorrectly, you keep doing or something like that, then guess what? You will never, ever, no matter how many times you're going to repeat this, you will never, ever fix your speech. Never. You got to do it correctly. Correctly. And whenever you do it correctly, naturally, stuttering doesn't have a chance to occur. I will know. I will never make a mistake if I use my speech instrument correctly. Never. But the moment I don't follow the 3 speech steps which I teach to each of my students, guess what? I will immediately make a mistake. I will immediately stumble. Everything is simple, but it must be done precisely, correctly. Do you understand me? Yay! Thank you for the hearts in Instagram. Thank you so much, guys. Keep up the good work. Exactly, Divanshu. Okay, but I recommend you come to a teacher and you understand what good work to do. Okay. Divanshu wrote, can I talk to you through WhatsApp? I'm shy, can't video call. I badly need a mentor. No, you cannot speak with me without the video because I need to see with my eyes what you do. WhatsApp, of course I can. I can even teach people on WhatsApp. I don't like it. I like a big screen, but they say that actually you can use WhatsApp even on your computer. I haven't figured it out, but yes, I can. It doesn't matter. I use on Skype, but today Skype is acting up. I don't know. For some reason, Skype is not as good as it used to be. I teach on Skype. I teach on Zoom. Anywhere I teach with video because this is my classroom. And Divanshu, what I recommend, you first go to livestutterfree.com and you register to watch my webinar. Do you understand that? Watch my webinar first so you could understand what I teach. What is it? Why? I mean, this is amazing webinar. I released so much information there. And people, after watching this webinar, come to me. They want to take the class right away, but then they realize they have to do a little work. And sometimes not a little, because we need funds to spread this information. And your government is not interested in supporting people like me telling the truth. They want more people giving stupid advice, strange recommendations to see how you sit at home and do all kinds of jaw exercise, eye contact exercise, all these strange recommendations. I have the videos for 7 of them. I thought I would be discussing them today, but I've been live over 2 hours and you guys are asking questions. So I'm not talking about these techniques. Just understand, each technique is a lie. Each technique you learn, you attempt to use, each technique is a form of abnormal speaking. Normal people never speak like this. Hey, I need my icon. Okay, I like pictures. You gotta understand that the government wants you to stutter. I'm not gonna go through this. It just think of the years of them making us wearing muzzles over our faces and stuff. I'm not gonna go there because on YouTube you can't discuss this. But the bottom line, yes, you can see me on WhatsApp, no problem. Okay, just go to, I'm gonna type my phone number for you for my WhatsApp. So number 1, God Something is in my throat. Number one is the area code of United States. One, and then go 323-896-1214. Did they do it right? Yes. This is my WhatsApp. And of course, this is my cell phone, but I don't like talking on WhatsApp because most of the time people call them and they haven't seen my webinar, and I don't like it. They ask kind of the same questions you guys are asking here during the live stream, and I give my time freely only one time. My time is very valuable. I'm 64-year-old woman. I don't have that much strength left to continue working so hard. So I recommend you first watch the webinar and then you tell me, Anna, I have watched your webinar. I'm ready to talk to you. Then I will talk to you. Okay. Divanshu wrote, yes, I can hear it. Thanks. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. I've been on air for over 2 hours. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop. Oh, God. More questions here. I'm going to run all the videos I prepared for you. Bear with me. I'm going to run one after another one. I want you to hear me address 7 techniques and why I don't recommend you use them and what I recommend you do instead of doing this exercise every day. Okay? Are you ready? Hello, Logan. And while you are watching these videos, I recommend if you come up with any questions, just type them in here, okay? Because I have people who just joined me. Okay, let's begin with the first one. Let's go. Oh, no, I don't need that. I don't need that. I need this one.
For people who still have not learned to speak with accuracy and ease.
But if you do this exercise,
Sorry, I'm
you
going to
will
put it
reduce your
to the
stuttering.
beginning.
It's called
Stuttering is very
What?
stressful for people who still have not learned to speak with accuracy and ease.
But if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering. It's called jaw technique. Open your mouth as wide as possible. Hold this position while moving your tongue to the roof and then to the back of your mouth. Then stick your tongue out of the mouth and hold it for a few seconds. Repeat this exercise 5 times every night, and you will not stutter anymore.
Dear people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. This jaw exercise will block your tongue from moving freely and you will stutter even more severely. Learn to use your tongue in the natural way to balance your speech and never stutter again.
Okay, did you hear my recommendation? Could you please let me know if you can hear it, because this is the first time I'm doing this, sharing video files from my computer. Could you please let me know if you could hear the sound? Okay. Divanshu, can you please let me know? Okay, hopefully you can. Let me play the next one. Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure if people on Instagram can hear it because on Instagram I am using my phone. Okay, so let's go to the next technique. This one.
Find it difficult to breathe properly. Many people who stutter find it difficult to breathe properly when they speak because they don't use correctly their speech instrument.
But if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering. It's called breathing technique. Relax yourself. Inhale deeply. Feel your diaphragm go downwards and your stomach expands. Relax your diaphragm and feel it naturally returning to its original position.
I want to mention, notice the voice. I use the special voice to show to you how convincing their voices are. It's still a lie. It's still an evil advice, but they talk smoothly with such a kind voice that you believe them and you begin doing this and you begin destroying your speech. Keep watching.
Position. Feel the relaxation as all the air eases out of your lungs. Relax for a few seconds and continue doing 10 more reps. Use this technique to relax and stutter less.
Dear people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. Any breathing exercise will block your speech instrument, and you will stutter more severely. Learn to use your speech instrument in the natural way to balance your speech and never stutter again. Many people who stutter find it
Stop. Okay, let me put myself a little bit there. So I would appreciate any feedback, by the way, if you guys give me. Let's go to the next one.
But if you do this exercise, you
I don't
will
need
reduce
from the
many
beginning.
people who stutter feel blocked because they still haven't adjusted their tongue for accurate production of all the words and still struggle to say certain sounds. They often replace such difficult words with the ones that are easy for them to say.
Okay, does it happen to you when you believe you cannot say this word because of certain sounds and you substitute the word? You keep looking for another word to say. That's the problem. You need to learn the word that you want to say. Train your tongue to say this word instead of following this stupid advice all the time. Yep, I know. Yep. Keep looking. Okay, turning on.
But if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering. It's called loud vowel pronunciation. The most common problem stutterers face is difficulty pronouncing vowels. Pronounce each sound of the alphabet clearly. A, E, I, O.
I want to stop it for a second. I just need to explain. Look what is written in red letters. And what is the guy teaching? A, E, I, O, and U. Those are the names of the letters. When we speak, we do not pronounce letters. We speak in ringtones. I haven't mentioned it today. Ringtones, the tongue, when the tongue drops down in our mouth, falls down in the mouth, it produces ringtones. It doesn't produce the names of the letters. And look, this gentleman, this guy, is training himself to say the names of the letters. How will it help him to speak? It's just crazy. Continue.
O, and U. This technique needs to be repeated over and over again. With practice, you will see significant improvement.
No, you will not. With practice, you will feel even more blocked because you are learning to pronounce the names of the letters which we don't care about when we speak.
Dear people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. Practicing vowel sound pronunciation will not teach you to say whole words, and you will continue to stutter. Learn to use your speech instrument for producing whole words and live stutter-free.
People who stutter don't know.
Okay, the next one. We have 3 more to go. Whole YouTube is filled with these lies, and I've tried all this shit. Sorry, stuff. I said what was in my head. Shit. Okay, sorry. I usually don't use bad words. Okay, let's go. The next one, the next lie, the next offer to practice the next lie. Evil technique. Go.
Many people who stutter are afraid of a silent speech pause. They speed up to say everything at once without pausing, which inevitably causes them to stutter.
But if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering. It's called the pausing technique. People who stutter don't know when they should pause during a sentence. You have to pause after every.
Do you see this guy's face? This is you. This is you when you attempt to do any technique. Any technique is the abnormal way of speaking. It's the form of stuttering. People who stutter, they don't not know when to pause. They attempt to speak in sentences. This is the problem. Normal people never speak in sentences. I think we talked about it. But because this guy believes he needs to speak in sentences, he attempts to follow this technique, to practice this technique, to pause every few words. This is a complete lie, and normal people never, ever do this. Listen, continue listening. Oops.
Few words, and not at the center of a given word. Practice this technique at least once a day so that pausing becomes.
See, again, practice this technique at least once a day. It's crazy. Why do I need to practice technique of pausing every few words when normal people never speak this way? Never. And again, every day it's my life. Why should I waste my life on doing this? It's absolutely insane. Okay. Sometimes planned pauses make the stammer even pronounce what? Make the stutter even more pronounced. Most of the time, stutter begin at the start of a word. Yeah, of course. Because especially with you, Devanshu, because you explained to me that your attention focus is distracted. You get distracted. And when you do, oh, I need to pause, it's another distraction. Another distraction. It will make you block more when you focus on this strange technique. And practicing this technique every day, this is what makes me mad. It's my life. It's very short. Why should I practice this each and every day to destroy my speech, but believe that I'm going to help my speech?
A habit. This technique helps you stay comfortable while speaking, and it reduces stuttering.
Dear
Why?
people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. Training to pause mechanically will make you sound unnaturally. Learn what all naturally balanced speakers pause for and what they do during these moments of silence. Enjoy your stutter-free life. Many people who stutter are afraid of a silent speech pause.
Okay. Silent speech. So this is what is that true. All people who stutter are afraid of silence. They are afraid. They want to fill the silence with something. They're going to do all kinds of dancing during this time. They don't know yet what to say, but they're still going to push their tongue to do something. They may do a lot of feelers, Um, to be honest, they lick their lips. They make this weird sound. They do all kinds of blocking things. But the recommendation is practice the pause every few words. Okay. Hope someone else is still with me. 2 more to go. Let's go.
This technique to take control.
People who stutter block their vocal cords while speaking because they still haven't learned to use correctly their speech instrument.
But if you do this exercise, you will reduce your stuttering.
It's called the gentle onset technique. Practice this technique to take control over your voice. First, turn on your voice with the softest and lowest vibrations. Next, slowly increase the volume of your voice to normal and then decrease it again from loud to low.
Ah. Ah. Eat. Eat.
Do this exercise for each spoken syllable and reduce stuttering.
Dear people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. Learn to use correctly your speech instrument and naturally unblock your vocal cords. Enjoy your stutter-free life. People who stutter block their vocal.
Did you hear that? Did you see how the guy was doing the vowel pronunciation training for each syllable? No, they said for each syllable. Onset. E. Do people speak like this? It's absolutely insane what they recommend people who stutter should do. This is why they keep training themselves to stutter. This is typical stuttering besides they use the word syllables? My dear, nobody in sane mind speaks in syllables. Syllables, again, are for writing. When we write, yes, we write in syllables. But when we speak, our tongue moves by ringtones, ringtones, ringtones. One fall of the tongue, one ringtone. And ringtones and syllables are different. Sometimes they kind of the same, but most of the time they are not. Because when we speak, our tongue produces from one, if it's a vowel sound, up to 6 sounds at the same time. And when we write, the syllable is usually very short. The syllable can end with a vowel letter, with a consonant letter. And when we speak, it's never the case. I mean, it's a lot to explain. Okay. Oh my God, I did all these techniques and wonder why they fail in real life scenarios, because this is the form of stuttering. Each and every technique is the form of stuttering. Please understand. Stop using them. Okay. So let's go to the next one. I think the last one, because there were 7 techniques in that video and I addressed just those 7. But of course, there are more of them.
Feeling blocked while attempting to.
Choo. Let's go
Most
back.
people who stutter are feeling blocked while attempting to speak because they use incorrectly their eyes.
But if you do this exercise,
Eye contact.
you will reduce your stuttering. It's called the confident eye contact technique. People who stutter avert their eyes to avoid eye contact with a listener because they feel embarrassed. Don't break the eye contact when you stammer. Keep looking at the listener. This technique will help you get desensitized to the discomfort of stuttering.
Dear people who stutter, don't believe this evil advice. Discover how all naturally balanced speakers use their eyes while talking to a listener. Learn to speak in the same standard way and never stutter again. Most people who stutter.
Okay, let me go back to me, to myself. Thank you so much for staying with me, because that was first time I was using the video files and actually it worked, right? You could hear them, everything is fine. I can do it a lot now. Anyway, so I've been live for 2.5 hours. Wow. Enough. So let me repeat what I recommend you guys need to do. Of course, if you want to begin speaking with ease, with accuracy, and enjoy your speech for the rest of your life, you got to do some work. And here are the first steps. Step number 1, go to livestutterfree.com and register for the webinar. Watch the webinar. It's free. You don't have to pay a penny. After the webinar, there is a link where you're gonna be asked if you want to schedule a conversation with me. If you want, go ahead, schedule your free video call. Free. It's actually on Zoom, but if you want, I can do it anywhere else. I will give you all the options. I will answer all your questions, and then you're gonna be the one to decide what exactly you want to do in your life. If you are still a teenager, if you don't make much money, if you don't work, I mean, there are different situations in life, okay? Because I work with people from all over the world. If you are under 18, I recommend you bring someone who supports you, who you still depend on. If you are still not working, you are a student, I also recommend you bring someone who is financially responsible for your education, okay? Because you don't make any money. Of course, you need your mommy, daddy, or whoever is responsible for you. What else? So if you are the mother of a child and you not the one who makes decisions, financial decisions in the family, I do recommend you bring your husband or whoever is making these decisions. Okay? So, because it is an investment, of course, I'm the only English speaking person on the planet who can help you quit stuttering and live stutter free for the rest of your life. I am the only one. Do you realize that? And of course, I have all kinds of books. If you go to my website, you download them, you can read them if you want. Some of them are free, some of them are not that expensive. And you also can go to my app, Live Stutter Free app, Google app. My books are there as well, and they are not expensive there. Okay, any questions? Last chance for you to ask a question. I don't see any questions on Instagram. I see people are still watching me. Okay, okay. I love this knowledge so much. Okay, let me push the button and see what you wrote. Okay. I love this knowledge so much. Can't wait to book appointment with you very soon. Of course, I'm always available. Let's talk. Let's talk. It's enough. Life is so short. Stop listening to all kinds of lies, false information. And the more you watch all these crazy videos on YouTube, the more disinformation you will learn, the more you will become confused. So, hope to see you soon. Lots of love to you. We have spoken on Zoom a year or two ago, and I'm ready. Okay, if we have spoken, then you gotta choose what class to take. Are we connected on Skype? If you are, just come to me on Skype and I will answer all your questions there. Good, I'm happy you're ready. Because I give my time freely only one time. Like for an hour, you remember I was talking to you for an hour. Yes, we are perfect. Then come to me when you are connected with me on Skype. It means I know you know what I know, right? A lot. And it's going to be much easier for me to answer your questions. You will ask the right questions. Okay. Aya, I don't remember your name. I apologize. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Lots of success to you. Go join my TikTok. I'm going to put the last video there tonight. And I'm going to begin uploading all these videos to YouTube as shorts as well. Bye-bye. Good night.